Bitcoin ready for new yearly highs? We are going to discuss Bitcoin and Solana. I'm going to be providing you guys with trade ideas on both of them, especially Solana is potentially lining up today for a very interesting trading setup. Let's start with Bitcoin, because what we can see over here is, like I explained in Monday's video, is that we are now currently seeing a potential deviation of this current range that Bitcoin has been trading in over the past few weeks. Okay, if we check out the 3-day time frame, we can see that Bitcoin currently is retesting this previous 3-day supply candle, right? And we know that previous supply now should turn into demand. And look at the potential bounce that we are currently seeing on the Bitcoin chart. Now, besides the 3-day breaker block is what we call a previous supply area that now turns into demand. We can also see that the previous bull market range, in which we have a range low over here with 2 pivots and a range high over here with the all-time high. The quarterly level, the 0.75 level over here, exactly aligns with that 3-day breaker block as well. Now, besides that quarterly level and the 3-day breaker block, we can also see that over here we have this 3-day fair value gap. So all in all, we have a lot of confluences over here on the 3-day time frame, and a lot of people were shorting into this support area. Now, I have been teaching you guys that whenever we are trading in a range and whenever we are seeing a potential breakout or breakdown of the range, if price is truly bullish after a breakout or truly bearish after a breakdown out of the range, then 99 out of 100 times you don't get a perfect retest. And this range over here is the perfect example. What we can see over here, potential breakout of the range high. What do we see? We see a perfect retest, but we know that it shouldn't offer these perfect retests. If price is truly bullish, it would just expand higher. So what happens is we fall back inside and take the sell stops, okay? Over here, breakout, perfect retest, right? By this fake break of structure, even more people think that this was a perfect retest and that we should continue higher. But we know that if price was truly bullish, over here it would have expanded higher and not offer this perfect retest. So we fall back inside of the range and go for the liquidity beneath the range low. Now, what we're seeing over here was a breakdown, perfect retest, move down, induce people into shorts, and currently we are at a pivotal area for Bitcoin, because what we can see is that we are once again retesting that range low level over here. And as usual, guys, in the meantime, in the background, the coffee machine is going to wash itself as usual, so enjoy the sound. And now we continue with the video since it finished right now. But like I said, we are once again retesting that range low. So in my opinion, in my experience, if price was truly bearish after this breakdown out of this range, then it should have already continued lower. So personally, what did I do yesterday? I opened up a long position. Like always, I shared the exact signal in our VIP channel over here, as you can see. And I actually also shared the signal for free in the Discord and for free on Twitter when I entered the actual trade. So I'm already in a long, but in order to really become bullish on Bitcoin, we have to identify the 1-hour structure. Because the 1-hour structure, what we can see, if we measure the structure, we see a low, a sweep of the high, afterwards a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now currently, by identifying the structure, we can see that this is the pivotal high that brought us to the most recent low. So this high over here that aligns with the range low is the high that we need to break in order to shift structure again towards the upside on the 1-hourly time frame. So besides this range low, that is a key level that we need to reclaim on Bitcoin, we also have to reclaim this previous lower high that brought us to the downside, okay? So we can see that besides the range low, we have this previous lower high and the supply area that we have to reclaim in order to become bullish. Now, in order to shift structure on the 1-hourly time frame, that means that we need to open and close a candle above the high that brought us to the most recent new low. Just a candle close above is not enough. No, we need a candle open and a candle close in order to shift structure. So that is what I'm currently looking at on Bitcoin. I'm looking for a reclaim back inside of this range, then a retest, and then to pump it higher. Okay, currently, like I said, I'm in a long position over here and I have my stop loss at break even. But if we do get a reclaim over here, I'm looking for another long position, okay? Maybe after that reclaim, we first take out this sell liquidity, right? Because what will happen is after this reclaim and shift the structure, many people will be looking to long Bitcoin like this with their long entry over here, their stop loss beneath this low and their target being the range high. So what often happens is that the first retest, like I've been teaching you guys, isn't the true retest. Quite often you go for another deviation, okay? So that could look something like this. Maybe a bit of a bounce, go for a sweep of the liquidity of the early long positions, then the true reclaim, and if you then get the true reclaim and the confirmed second deviation, that's where you long the pullback of the range low, target the range high for Bitcoin. Very clear trading idea, very high probability. So looking for a reclaim of the range low, followed by another smaller deviation and sweep of sell and liquidity, followed by another reclaim, and that second reclaim and that second confirmed deviation gives us the trigger to add another long position besides our current long position on Bitcoin. Now let's move on to the most interesting looking altcoin out there right now, which is Solana. It is looking very, very interesting because when we look at the chart, we can see that Solana is forming a potential falling wedge pattern on a 4-hourly time frame. Now, why is this a valid falling wedge? First of all, to look at valid wedges and trend lines, like I've been teaching you guys in last Friday's educational YouTube video where I taught you guys about trend lines, we know that when this falling wedge is being formed, the general volume needs to go lower and lower and lower. And what we can see over here is that the general volume is going lower and lower and lower. The peaks, right, the spikes inside of this volume are going lower and lower and lower as well. So based on the volume, it's already a valid falling wedge. Now we also have 1, 2, 3 taps at the top trend line. We actually have 4 and then a small deviation. And we have 1 and 2 taps at the lower low trend line, which is enough taps because we need at least 2 at the bottom and 3 at the top, or 3 at the bottom and 2 at the top. So based on the volume, based on the touches of the trend line, it is a valid one. But what is even more interesting to me is that if we check out the 12-hourly time frame, we can see that Solana, if we count the Elliott wave structure, over here we take the Elliott wave, we are looking at wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Now we know that this higher time frame, third wave, consists out of 5 sub-minute waves. So if we're going to count this bigger third wave into 5 waves, we can once again see wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So we can see that currently Solana is probably inside of this sub-minute wave 4 structure. Now we know that during these wave 4s, the price very often either forms a triangle, a range, or a falling wedge. What are we seeing currently on Solana? We are seeing a falling wedge. And we know that after wave 4, we should get a wave 5 impulsive structure towards the upside. So based on this analysis, I do think that Solana is ready for more upside. But what could be a trigger to position ourselves into a long? Now, to get the trigger, we need to identify this range over here. And what we can see over here is that Solana is potentially reclaiming that range low area. If we look at this current range on Solana, right, we can see that we have a beautiful range. Pivot 1, pivot 2, pivot 3. We can see that we are currently looking at a potential deviation of the range low, and we have an untapped liquidity pool at the range high. So that should technically be our first take profit target, right? What we can also see if we identify the structure on Solana is that we are forming lower lows and lower highs. Lower lows, lower high, lower low. But what are we seeing currently on the price? We are seeing that Solana is currently forming a higher high, right? Because what we can see is that Solana opened and closed this current candle, right, above the high that brought us to this low over here. So we have a confirmed shifted structure on a 1-hourly time frame. We have a reclaim of that range low on the 4-hourly time frame as well. Now, what is my trigger to position ourselves long? Just like on Bitcoin, same for Solana. What many people are waiting for right now is a perfect retest of that range low level. They enter a limit long with their stop loss beneath this low over here, and they take profit target being the range high. Now, they always use the closest low to cover their stop loss. Why is that? Because people are greedy creatures. And by using the closest low to cover their stop loss, they get the highest RR trade possible, right? The most potential profit. So we know that the liquidity currently is going to be beneath this low over here. This is our sell side liquidity. Now, my trigger for a long on Solana would be a retest, followed by a bit of a bounce from that range low. Why do I want to see a bit of a bounce? Because a bounce from that range low will induce people into opening longs over here because they see this perfect retest. Then after that first bounce, I want to see a sweep of the sell side liquidity and a push beneath the range low, followed by another reclaim of the range low, and then I have my long trigger to long any pullback to target the range high, okay? In this case, I don't even wait for a perfect retest of the range low. No, I will start laddering in my limit long orders from higher, with my invalidation being beneath this low over here that swept the sell side liquidity, and my first take profit target being the mid range, second one being the range high, and third one being right new highs for Solana above $126.5, right new yearly highs over here for a massive RR of 10 plus. This is my long trigger. This is the range for Solana. We have the Elliott wave confluence, we have the falling wedge confluence, we have the volume confluence. All that we now have to wait for is the second deviation of the range low with a sweep of the sell side liquidity, followed by a reclaim of that range low with a shifted structure, and then we long Solana on any pullback with a very clear invalidation and also a very clear target. Today's video was once again sponsored by Prime XBT. You definitely have to make sure to check out the platform, guys. They now also offer crypto futures trading, as you can see on the screen right here. I want to thank them for sponsoring. I want to thank you guys definitely for watching as well. If you guys do have any questions after watching today's video, let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys on Friday's video. Ciao, ciao!